mom. She's a gardener as well. She loves to plant irises in her garden. Wow. And these, I have to say, are the biggest, most ginormous iris I've ever seen. They are giant Japanese iris. You are going to be getting 3 of them. They are perennial, so they're coming back year after year. You guys, they are less than $20 for 3. So it's an unbelievable price. This expires at the end of the day. That's in a little more than an hour. It's our only quantities of the season. And if you love iris and you really want to make a statement with your iris, here's your opportunity to do so. Thank you, Cottage Farms. Katie DeBow is back with us again. If you didn't have the chance to meet Katie earlier, Katie has a great background, has been around the garden business her whole life. She is a garden writer. She writes about trends. That's kind of what her focus is.
Absolutely.
And so we love having your expertise as well. These are phenomenal.
Aren't they?
We had some of these giant iris last year on QVC. That's when we first introduced them from Cottage Farms. Sold out. This is our new assortment for you for this year.
And I mean, as you said, look at these blooms. They're huge. They're 6 inches. They're half a foot wide. They are the biggest iris that you can find. And we put this collection together for you because of these colors.
Yes.
They just, I mean, they say spring to me, spring, spring, spring. And so as you can also see, besides the big blooms, they're huge.
Yes.
They're huge. They're going to grow to be about, 36 inches tall and about 3 feet wide. You're going to want to plant them about 3 feet apart.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you have space to grow.
Are these going to bloom for me this year, Katie?
These are probably going to they'll give you some flowers this year. But when you're talking about this will be a second season of growth.
Got it.
Yes.
And where are my zones? Where can I and cannot grow these?
Well, the great thing about these is you can grow them almost anywhere.
Great.
And they really are kind of a problem solver for the garden because they can take almost any kind of soil, and in particular, they like wet soil, which is a really rare thing when you're talking about a plant.
Yes.
So if you have a boggy area of your garden or a low point in your garden,
yes.
or I have a pond and I'm looking for things that I can plant near my pond,
there,
yes. that can tolerate that wet soil.
Even some coastal areas, right?
Absolutely.
If you kind of get some of that wetness. Here are the images of these different varieties of this Japanese iris.
Yes, so you're getting 3 colors here. That grassy ooze, which is that bottom right corner, that deep purple with the lighter pink veins, and then the pink lady, which is a pinker one with yellow eyes. It has that really bright center, and Royal Robes is going to be a really dark purple down here. It's got that royalty purple color here with the yellow stripes in it.
If I'm already growing maybe some of the Siberian iris and those kinds of things, which are going to be a little bit more small, compact, would I put these behind that then?
These would work great behind those irises, or even in the back of your border.
Okay.
Because they are so tall, you are going to want to put them behind other plants. They do have some foliage, so if you don't have something to put them behind, just don't think of them as front of the border plants. They work great in the back.
In the back.
Yeah.
Can we show everybody what we're shipping out to? Because again, this is like one of those things that I love to show and say, yeah, so this kind of ugly, gnarly thing right here is going to bloom into those gorgeous giant flowers that we just showed you. But what are some tips for planting this?
Yeah,
Katie?
so exactly. This is one. So when you look at this plant, what you are getting is one of those containers. And so it will bloom into that by your second season. So you can see these are the roots, the part that you see down here. And this is the part that's going to grow that beautiful iris. So when you are thinking about planting it, you're going to want to dig a nice hole that's about twice as wide. It's a pretty easy plant to plant.
Okay.
And you want to do it though deep, so the roots go deep down in the ground, and you don't want to cover the crown of that plant, or you don't want to cover the green stems when you're doing that. And so you just want to backfill it and pat it down to get rid of those air bubbles. And the great thing about when you're planting these is you'll see where they are. Unlike your other flower bulbs you plant, you forget where you put them.
Right.
These have that little green thumb up, so you know you've done it right.
So that is going to become this?
Yes, so that will become that in as little as 6 weeks. So it becomes this.
Great.
And then it will start to form the flower buds. Usually around June is when these bloom.
Okay.
Even if, all parts of the country, irises are really June bloomers.
Okay, great.
So you'll get your flowers in June, and they'll be covered in flowers, and that's pretty much their season is June.
Is June.
Yeah.
Remember, you may get a bloom or two this year, but really when you're going to start to get the payoff from this investment.
Yes.
And that's how I want you to look at these floral purchases. When you're buying these are investments in your landscape. This is investment in your home, investment in the curb appeal of your home. I wouldn't know where to send you or even if your local garden centers could get this Japanese giant iris. And if they did, how much would they charge you for one? We're giving you 3, about $6 a plant. Think about that, $6 a plant, right? You spend that when you decide to try a new brand of peanut butter. Here you're getting these gorgeous, ginormous flowers for your garden like you've never seen before. Your neighbors don't have these. Your good friend who's in the garden club, she doesn't have these. We have them for you here, and they're at your one-day only price, which is the lowest price of the entire garden season.
Wow. And I just love, I mean, they are really sturdy stalks that they're growing on, but they really do, the ruffledness of the petals here, they look like butterflies in the breeze. You know, when the wind blows, I really do like how these flowers have texture, but what you're getting with these iris is color. And you are getting giant blooms. These 6-inch wide blooms are going to be very, very impressive. They do work as cut flowers. You can bring them in the house, and they will just be huge, enormous blooms in your garden. Standing at the back with these nice, you know, pink and purple colors, these kind of pastel-y colors that will be really big standouts.
Will these attract some of my pollinators?
They will. They will attract pollinators. So you'll see hummingbirds and moths and butterflies around these.
Great.
So you could plant them with the butterfly bush.
Nice.
The butterfly bush likes full sun. These like full sun. They like, you know, they can do some dappled shade.
Okay.
So that would be great.
Nice.
And again, they are a great problem solver for, as you said, coastal gardens, because they can withstand kind of a soil that's not so great, or wet soil.
Wet soil.
Yeah, they can even sit in some standing water if that happens in your area.
Nice.
So they can handle that.
And how about things like deer and rabbits?
They are deer and rabbit resistant.
Good.
So yeah, we're good for pollinators, but not those crispy, pesky critters.
Yes, right. If you're interested in these, this is our lowest price of the entire garden season. When we brought you some of the giant Japanese iris last year, they always sold out. These are the biggest, the fullest, the largest, not just the tallest in height, but the actual size of the iris flower is giant. And those are the 3 varieties that you're going to be getting in this collection. So you get that pink lady, which is so pretty.
Yep. The gracieuse and the royal robes. I love those together. I mean, and just look at that meadow of iris. I mean, that would be beautiful to have.
Oh my gosh, that would be a lot of purchases.
It would be a lot of purchases.
Let's start you out with 1 or 2 sets. How about that? And I also want to remind you, this is also on Easy Pay. Up until midnight, everything on air and online, at least 4 payments of Easy Pay. So it's a great opportunity for you to, you know, say, you know what, I'm going to buy a couple sets of those. I have the Easy Pay opportunity. I can spread it out. If I were you, without question, I would buy 2 sets of these. I mean, I wouldn't even hesitate, because you're going to be able to now do either a nice little cluster of 6, so that as they mature in the next year or 2, they really fill out a space, or a row of 6 on the back of your border, oversized, taller, with these special flowers. And they bloom in June. So they're going to be kind of the kickoff to your garden. So from here, you go to the butterfly bushes, which will, you know, start blooming from there. Your daylilies are taken off. But this, you know, kind of around the time your peonies are going. That's usually when your iris are going. And what a beautiful compliment these would be in a peony garden as well.
They really would be. Yeah, and I really just love how these are so graceful, and the texture to these flowers. We were talking about texture in the garden earlier. And how important it is to have different types of texture. And when you're thinking of that butterfly bush, the conical shape of the flower, these are more of that traditional flower where they've got the big petals and they fall open, and they just, even as they open, I mean, we do have some buds on these, but even as they do open, they're so beautiful, and they just add drama to your garden. So, and the colors, I mean, purple, I have a 4-year-old, it's her favorite color, so we're talking about a very popular garden color as
Very good for a princess garden.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Listen, stay on the line for these. Closing in on almost 3,000 of these being ordered. Lowest price of the entire garden season. It expires at midnight. You're getting Easy Pay. Zones 4 through 9 here. So again, really a nice opportunity. And here's a quick look at where we'll be sending things at what time of year.
Yes, absolutely. So these are perennials, and so they'll come back. So just take a look at where you live on the map and match your color to the box below. And then that date next to it is when we'll ship these plants out to you.
Stay on the line for that. Again, it's a 3-piece perennial. That means they come back year after year after year. And those are item number M61320. Also want to remind you, since these are a perennial, Cottage Farm stands behind them for a year.
Yes, we do, absolutely. And if for any reason you're dissatisfied, we'll replace your plant with a similar or comparable one at no charge.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank
Great
you so
job
much,
today.
Jill.
See you soon. Listen, stay on the line for that, everybody. Look at that. Those are your giant iris perennials from Cottage Farms. So still to come, as we head into hour number 3 of Your Home with Jill, we are going to talk about